Georgia Tech over the ball. Tom calling signals.
818! 818!
Whoa! Yeah.
Hands off to Garrick.
You're a dead man!
Stops Garrick for a 2-yard loss.
I don't think you got it, pal!
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm a tired person. I'm a tired man this morning. Very tired. Good morning, everybody. Game time, Brian. Rise and grind here. Rise and grind on a Monday morning. A victory Monday morning that I fell asleep around 12-ish, around midnight, probably a little after. Then was woken up at 3:45 that my son was in an accident, fell asleep at the wheel on the way to work this morning. He is fine, everybody. My son is fine. Yet another thing, more stress. Nothing like being woken up at 3:30 in the morning that he was in an accident. But he's remarkably fine. So, again, victory Monday, though. Victory that my son is fine, and victory that the Cowboys won. Cowboys look good. It's circling forward. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I don't like to, unless it's too, obviously, if it wasn't the good news as far as health-wise, then I had every right not to go to work, but the fact that I was out almost a month on leave, the last thing I want to do is call out of work unless my son's at a hospital, which he's not. He's totally fine other than his ego. But, you know how my sunglasses, what the fuck? Forgot my sunglasses, people. I'm a mess. But anyway, getting back to the Cowboys, you know, again, I always say 24-hour period. Wins and losses. We're still in that 24-hour period. But again, I keep it real. I don't want to move the goalpost. Right? I don't want to move the goalpost. When the Eagles beat Green Bay, I gave them credit. I said, you know, I'm not going to get my predictions right 100% for the rest of the year. But I had them losing to Green Bay. Very close game. They won the game. Okay, so Dallas, I had losing by 4 only because of I kept hearing about all the question marks. And you know, listen, it's tough for me because where I live in the enemy territory where everything is negative towards Dallas. Dallas sucks. Offensive lineman, Drew kept saying, the offensive linemen, yeah, they're going to struggle. It's going to be subpar. Defense isn't going to be as good as last year. Listen, after one game, flying colors passed, and we scored 33 points on the road against a playoff team with the number 1 rated defense, and we didn't play great in the second half. We left a lot of meat on the bone. Averaged a little over 4 yards a carry, not a problem. You're going to need to do better. You're definitely going to need to do better, and I think they will. But nobody's flexing nothing. We haven't won shit. We won one game against a team that when I did my W's and L's, I had as a loss. So I'm ahead of the game. Seems like after 1 week, although, you know, they always say try not to get locked in about a team after 1 week. Give it a month, right? Give it a month. New Orleans Saints might be better than I thought. Anytime you put up 47 points, that's pretty good, right? And we're playing New Orleans 1 o'clock at AT&T. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm all over the road. I'll be 2 accidents in one night. What happened, sir? Well, I sneezed and I ran into somebody. Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to do that. Probably didn't look good. But, where was I? Where the hell was I? Where I was, New Orleans is after, New Orleans, we better be ready to play New Orleans or you're going to get embarrassed. They got weapons. There's no saying they don't have weapons. Shaheed, right? Kamara. They got some good defensive pieces that they went out and got. I mean, David Carr's hot. He's real hot. When he's not, right? So we'll see. Eagles play, looks like, unfortunately, after 1 week. I still think my record for Washington's going to be good. 8-9. I expect them to go on a run towards the second half of the year like I predicted. Giants may not get to 8 wins based on what I saw yesterday. Giants' offensive line did not look good again. Their defense did not look good. That'll get better. They got a lot of talent on the defense, but not yesterday. Not so much. But I think that the offense kind of hurt the Giants. But I think what this is leaning towards is a top-heavy division again. Eagles versus Dallas. I had them both at 10 wins. Eagles have already improved that the conference with the win over Green Bay. So, again, we got a long way to go before we got to worry about the Eagles or playoffs or anything. It's just about getting better. We can get a lot better. And our defense looked unbelievably fast. Micah Parsons led the NFL week 1 in NFL pressures. He had 9 quarterback pressures. He had a forced interception. Remember, he tipped the ball where Kendricks was able to intercept the ball. And he had a sack. He had 3 other sacks that he had Massaji Watson, and he let him slip out the backside. He wasn't the only one. Sean Watson is a slippery dude, so give him credit. Give him credit for his slipping out. But Dallas had 6 sacks as a team, and it could have been easily double digits. Because I know Mike had missed at least 3, and there was guys all over on the defense that were missing them left and right. Overshown, my man is a tackling machine. Some of the bright spots, Kalen Carson, I thought they tried to pick on him in the second half after we opened up that lead, and they completed some balls. That's where you saw the stats kind of even out. Don't kid yourself. Look at the halftime stats. Look at the end of the third quarter stats. That's more indicative of the game. The end, Cleveland ended up with the statistical edge. They ended up with the ball more. Again, Dallas has a lot to improve on offensively in the second half. Jake Ferguson, early words on Ferg is that they think he avoided major injury, so that's a plus. Thank God. He'll probably still miss this next week. So, it's a long season. But some of the bright spots on defense, Overshown, Kalen Carson held his own. The reason why Kalen Carson dropped to round 5, I think we drafted him, was his ball skills. But again, the way he was in the back seat, he was up in the, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy for the first half. Whoever he was lined up on, there wasn't much room to throw the ball. Dallas was locked down in the first half on defense, as they didn't even try Diggs, and Diggs got himself an interception. So Diggs was in the right place, but Diggs had a good game. I'm sure he's not 100%, but when you're as good as Stephon Diggs is, you don't have to be 100% to be productive. Kalen Carson was a positive. DeMarvion Overshown was a big positive. Eric Kendricks, anybody that thinks that Eric Kendricks is a joke and shot, don't know the game of football. He had an interception. He was all over the field. Like I said, he was the best linebacker. He would have been the best linebacker the Cowboys had in years based on last year's stats. So I'm not saying he's going to keep it up all year. I'm saying yesterday's game on the road, bingo. Mozzie Smith You didn't hear Mozzie Smith too often. He made a couple tackles. That's a step in the right direction. You saw the D-line rotation look real good. I want to give a shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence was a dog out there. D-Law was the man. Marshawn Nealon is as advertised as far as run stopping ability. He's got to work on his pass rush, but not everybody on your team has to be a pass rusher. Okay? He did get a couple pressures. So it's not like but he's not a TJ Watt type. He's a guy who's unbelievably stout against the run. He got to Watson more than once. He was right there. When they sacked Watson, I don't know if he got credited for half a sack. I don't think so. I think Overshown is so fast that he beat it. Nealon was closer, but Overshown finished it, and was able to close the speed and sack him first. Thought Jordan Lewis was a good tackler. I think you're seeing why they didn't re-sign Stephon Gilmore is Kalen Carson right now, where Gilmore left off about halfway through last year. He's just about as good. If not good, he won't take him long to be as good as Gilmore. The one thing that Kalen Carson did do is tackle. Gilmore's not going to tackle. You don't really want him tackling and risk an injury. So defensive side of the ball, I think that's all good sides. Jordan Phillips was a beast. Linval Joseph, I didn't hear that much, but they didn't have a lot of gashing runs. I know Nick Chubb wasn't there, but Jerome Ford was nothing to shake at. Let's keep it 100. The Cleveland was missing their two tackles. Both tackles were out. So, again, we had a lot of pressure. We should have had a lot of pressure. That's what you needed to do to win that game, apparently, because in the second half, when that great defensive Cleveland Browns turned it up a notch and made their halftime adjustments, it slowed us down. So that's where I'm telling you we can get a lot better. Dak can definitely play better. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. There was one throw I saw that it could have been picked towards the sideline, but nothing egregious. Nothing really egregious. There was a couple drop balls early, one by Kevontae Turpin. I didn't see Jalen Tolbert much, but I saw my guy Jalen Brooks, catch a key third down, or he had one catch for like 20 yards, 19 yards, but I think it was a third down conversion. So defense was good. Offensive line, again, there was their growing pains. That was about as best as I could expect. Cooper Beebe was phenomenal. Zach Martin gave up a sack. That just goes to show you, even the best of them against a great defensive line can make mistakes. Guyton gave up 1.5 sacks. But again, he fought through it, and his fight was incredible. So I'm digging that. Running backs, I said, were okay. And me personally, that is an emotional roller coaster to have to agree to a deal on the day of the game, and that's a lot to ask anybody to do. That's a lot to ask anybody to do. And Dak handled it like a pro. So, all in all, it's a W. We're allowed to be happy for 24 hours, but at least for myself, I'm not. What it's helped me out is it's helped me take a breath and say, oh my God, we're not, these rookies are more who we thought they were than what other people said that they're going to struggle so bad. I mean, if you're going to struggle, that place was rocking. Loyal Cowboys sent me some video of that place. It was rocking in Cleveland. Even though there's a lot of Cowboy fans, that's a rabid fan base. Dallas could do better with the clock. There was a miscommunication going into halftime, and Aubrey bangs the 66-yarder, and he probably could have made it from 71. He probably could have, but I'm glad they didn't try it. Just for his mental, I'm glad they didn't try it. So, listen, health is wealth, so let's hope Ferguson isn't out long. But it seems like early reports are that he's dodged major injury, but you don't really know until you get in there with an MRI machine. So we'll know later. Let's get out with the W, and let's move on to the New Orleans Saints. Cowboys are 1-0. I'm excited about it, and we'll let it go. I will be streaming tonight. I set up a stream for the Monday Night Football, but I'm going to try and get home and get a nap because I'm going to be a zombie later. So I'll make it a channel member Zoom again, because I'm not going to be doing a channel member Zooms for all Cowboy games, but I did do it for yesterday's. It worked out. You know, it wasn't too bad. My allergies are bothering me, so that's why I didn't think Phil was going to be on all game. Sometimes me and Phil don't communicate right. I don't reach out enough, or he said he might try and stop in. Usually that's I'm not, you know. So I'll be streaming tonight. But more importantly, don't forget my lunchtime chat live from the mail truck around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Hopefully around 2:30. Because I'm pulling up to my work now. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think I'm fair. We're allowed to celebrate for 24 hours. Nobody's making Super Bowl reservations by any means. I'm just, you know. So I think we're allowed to be happy for a little bit. That was a game I thought that we may not win with all the obstacles that were in front of us. The CeeDee Lamb, new defense. Well, that new defense looked damn good, and it's only going to get better. Mikey didn't line up at the linebacker spot very often. There was one play where he dropped out into coverage. So they're just scratching the surface on the kickoffs and the special team stuff. So it bodes well for the future, everybody, but health is wealth, and we need to stay healthy. All right, I would say that for everybody. So I'll see everybody in my lunchtime chat. Be there. Late.